Hello and welcome back to another episode of Professor Natalie Games. I'm Dr. Natalie Van Duzen. I'm a professor at the University of Alberta, and I am here reacting to God of War Ragnarok with gameplay by Cleansed in Fire. First of all, thank you so much for letting me know a little bit about yourselves. It's fun for me to know where you are watching from, kind of what got you into this, whether it was the game, whether it was the mythology. Yeah, it's really fun for me to get a sense of who's watching my videos. So thank you so much for indulging me there. And thank you for being here and supporting my channel. I wanted to talk a little bit more before I get started about Hreisvelgr. So Hreisvelgr, or Corpse Swallower, came up in the previous video. And I talked about him being the eagle that sits at the top of the tree. There is something about that I want to clarify because that is something that is not entirely clear whether Hreisvelgr and the eagle that sits at the top of the tree, between whose eyes Veðurfolnir, the hawk, sits, and then Rasatuskur carries insults up and down the tree between them and Nidhugg at the bottom. Anyway, Hreisvelgr is mentioned both in the Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda, and it's explained that he is a Jötun, and that he is an eagle form, and it's from his wings that wind comes. And Snorri tells us, in addition, that he sits at the north end of the heavens. And then we also have the description of an eagle who is the one that sits at the top of the tree. So I kind of always assume that they're one and the same. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, we have so many inconsistencies in the mythology, as I've talked about before, a single figure being known by a couple of different names. So it's entirely possible that I'm right, and it's entirely possible that I'm wrong, which is something I will always admit. I will always admit the limits of my knowledge. So with those two things having been said, let's get back to it.
The fuse is but 30 heartbeats. That's enough. Once you see the signal, count it down. Come, Kratos. We should get moving.
Nice work with the wolves. I've never seen any clips in Vanaheim before.
Yeah, that just sort of happened when we freed the moon. I've seen a lot of weird things, but a moon in a box was on a whole new level.
I can stoke the fires of those chain blades for you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, hi. Hey, your little one. Well, he's a cutie pie.
Should have seen him a couple winters ago. Ain't even at eye level no more.
Oh, you hush. Ain't nothing wrong with a growing boy. Don't change the ding-dang time of day. Okay, well, that's impressive.
The wolves gave us a scepter. They will answer, should we call on them.
Good. There's a shortcut to Njord's temple we can use in daylight.
The Einherjar are holding Freyr in your father's own temple.
It's been empty for as long as I can remember. There's a celestial altar across the river. According to Bigvir, the altars were once used to signal the wolves, and now we have just the scepter to do it.
What is your plan?
When we reach the temple, I'll fire off the beacon. A signal for Bela and Birgir to set off their distraction.
The Dark Elf Hive.
Nice to not be on the receiving end of it for once.
With their attention drawn elsewhere, you and I can assault the main force from behind.
While Atreus and Hildisvíni slip in to rescue your brother from the confusion.
Yes. Once we see their beacon, we'll regroup by the river and escape on Freyr's team.
Good, that's the...
Try dragging the scepter across the bell a few times. Come on, we're making good time.
Our actions in this realm follow the prophecy of the giants. Atreus believes Ragnarok is inevitable.
The Norns were quite clear on the nature of prophecy. They told us the sum of our choices were predictable. But we have changed, haven't we?
Perhaps.
The Norns said you'd kill Heimdall, but you chose not to walk that path. Back when we first met, I doubt you'd have done the same.
And you? Do you still seek Ragnarok?
Odin has much to answer for. If Groa's prophecy is correct, perhaps my realm can finally know peace. Perhaps I can know peace.
Forgive me for being a head on a belt, but haven't we all just established how prophecy is pure havers?
God, Samir.
What?
The most annoying man alive. Careful, that's the Alpha. Tough fight. The Alpha!
So Blauten, which means Bluetooth, is not a creature in the mythology as far as I know, but it's still pretty cool. And Blauten, I'm assuming that they got this from Haraldur Blauten or Harold Bluetooth, a king of Denmark, who was named such probably because he had a dark tooth, like a dead tooth. And yeah, so I'm assuming that that's where that's from. And it's cool that they integrated it in this way. I like that it's kind of like this folklore too.
Alas, poor Nithog.
It was in our way.
Aye, I don't doubt it. Curious, though. What was she doing here?
Odin used roots of the World Tree as part of his spell that kept me from leaving Midgard. Nithog protects the tree's roots, wherever they are.
Ah, I see. Odin used her.
And she unwittingly paid the price.
Classic Odin.
Make extra noise once the assault begins. If we distract them long enough, Hildisfini and Atreus will have more than enough time to get in and out undetected.
I am not worried for Atreus. He is ready to fight on his own.
Are you ready?
I am. Are you?
I'm not leaving here without my brother. We're coming for you, Yngvi.
Completely giving away your position. What idiots. Oh. If it isn't Queen Mistletoe herself. Hilarious, by the way. Been a while.
Heimdall.
And you must be the little half-breed's father. Lucky day! You have a lot to answer for, Sunshine. You too, traitor.
Better a traitor than Odin's lapdog.
The burden is mine.
I can help.
I know. But you are needed elsewhere.
He's right, you know. Sizzles wasn't looking so hot last I saw.
I know you didn't want this, but we know how this ends. See you soon.
Well, we both know that's not true. But don't worry, Frigg. I'll be coming for you and your brother as soon as I am finished here. Now, what you got? Have some vibras on me! Come on, you animal! Not going to lie, I'm disappointed. So aggressive, so angry. Really? You are the one who killed Baldur? Oh! What did Guldhopper ever do to you? With your reputation, I thought I would at least break a sweat. Having fun yet? Oh well, you and me then. Oh wait, you expected the sting to give you an advantage? Well, what? I can feel your frustration. It is immensely satisfying.
What now, brother?
Despair remains our best chance.
Hilarious! The sire of the Aesir brought down by an old geezer's cane. Ha! Hey, careful! These are new bracelets. No! No! You actually hit me! Slow down! Oh, I don't remember the last time anyone hit me! Nobody is coming tonight. Queen Mistletoe is long gone. It's just you and me and that traitorous head. Ha-ha! There we are. Armor fit for a cup. Slow it down. You know, pain is not as bad as I remember. Right? Fuck! That's all this is! What is going on in that empty little head? Oh, no. You are going to spare me out of pity!
Let it go, you may live.
Is this about the little runt? Oh, now I am definitely going to gut him.
This is your final warning.
I don't think a warning's going to cut it.
You think you get to just walk away? No. That is not how this works. You do not get to decide my fate! You are dead, sunshine. Don't you know who I am? I am the Watchman of the Aesir, the Herald of Ragnarok. slow down! I am going to find that little mongrel of yours and beat his face into a pulp! Only one of us is walking away from this. And it sure as shit will not be you! Dare you try and spare me!
This isn't who you want to be!
Kratos, that was just... I don't know if we are breaking fate, or fate's breaking us.
I mentioned this before too, but according to the mythology and according to Snorri Sturluson in his Prose Edda specifically, Heimdall and Loki are the ones who are to face off at Ragnarok and kill one another. According to the mythology, they are like enemies for what are kind of unclear reasons due to information that's gone missing. So actually having Kratos stand in for Loki and be the one to bring about his fate in this way. I like that take on it. And I really, again, like what they're doing with this idea of fate and whether or not it can be avoided.
Hey, a little help?
At least the rescue's going well.
Use the shield strike! Yeah, so guess what? We got hit by another ambush.
We need to get him out of here.
I'll cover him, but we can't get through the door. We're trapped. The door's down! Can you move?
Not sure, but, try?
No! Sit tight! We'll figure something out!
Shield strike!
Can we go?
I will carry you.
You what? No, I can make it.
You cannot.
Ow, ow, ow! Easy.
To me! Follow!
We, got company back here.
Oh, no. Okay. We're almost there, right?
Archers ahead!
Oh, seriously? Nice job, by the way.
Hey, I'm Atreus. You okay?
Hi. No.
Just hold on.
All right. We gotta be close, right?
On your right!
Keep going! We're almost at the river!
Where's the boat?
Throw it in the river.
Hurry now. That won't hold them for long.
Skíðblaðnir.
Whoa! Of course. Skíðblaðnir. Freyr's boat.
They will regroup. We should go.
So I knew as soon as he pulled that out that was Skíðblaðnir. So I want to talk just briefly about this. I know I've mentioned it before, but it's worth coming back to because I think this is maybe one of my favorite creations of the dwarves in Norse mythology. So Skíðblaðnir is mentioned in both the prose and poetic Eddas, so we know that it was something that was kind of widely associated with Freyr. It's called the best of ships in the poem called Grimnismál, or the Lay of Grimnir, that I've talked about before. And I'm going to read you what Snorri tells us about it in the section of the prose Edda known as Gylfaginning, or the deluding of Gylfi. Here, Gangleri, he asks Odin in disguise, what can be said about Skíðblaðnir, since it is the best of ships? Is there no ship its equal, or none as large? Hai, who is Odin, said, Skíðblaðnir is the best of ships, and it was built with the finest craftsmanship. But Naglfar, the largest ship, is owned by Muspel. Dwarves, the sons of Ivaldi, built Skíðblaðnir and gave it to Freyr. That ship is so large that it can accommodate all the Aesir, along with their weapons and their war gear, and a good wind blows whenever the sail is raised, no matter where it is headed. The ship is made of so many different pieces, and with so much cunning, that when it is not being used to travel on the sea, it can be folded up like a piece of cloth and placed in a pouch. So that's Skíðblaðnir, and awesome to see how it's rendered here, and that indeed it's going to be able to fit all of them in it as they are trying to make their escape.
This is bad.
Hang on!
You should have seen your faces. Relax.
It's flying! We're flying! I knew it would do that.
We have guests!
There's another one!
I knew this was going too smoothly.
Little help?
They're too fast! Look out!
Loja frændur. Lojar sjálfur saman. Ægri deina aldrei dóir. Dómur, dáðan.
as the end of Birger.
You think he survived that?
He's down there picking the dirt out of his nails with the beast's feathers. You'll see. He has to be.
We're almost there, Yngvi. Just hold on a bit longer.
I don't suppose I have much of a choice at the moment.
Lunda, we need cloth and boiling water. Red root and
Lamb's grass, I know. You think I never staunched a bleeder before? Oh, now don't you go worrying, boss. I didn't go through any of your stuff while you was off being tortured.
Ah, damn it, Lunda! Easy.
Heck you sassing me for? I ain't the one who stuck you like a damn pig. No offense.
Freya, mind giving her a hand? We're just taking over entirely?
Hold still. She'll just get you stable so I can take you to Sindri's house. The rest of my herbs are there.
We'll protect the realm in your absence. The four of us.
Vanaheim's in good hands.
Party at Sindri's house, huh? Whoever that is.
Your boat.
Nope. Your boat. Come on, take it. Sail the skies. Sun yourself on its bow. You look like you could use it. Make a Vanir god proud.
Gave you his boat? Nice.
He left me no choice.
It was necessary, not because it was written.
Prophecy holds that Galahorn is the herald of Ragnarok. Whatever it does.
I read about it in Odin's library. Supposedly it...
Hold, Atreus. We will discuss in private.
So you were really not kidding. It gets so good. And so much is packed in here. I really love the final showdown between Kratos and Heimdall. As I said, Kratos kind of serves as a placeholder for Loki in the mythology because Loki and Heimdall are to face off at Ragnarok. But it really works in terms of how it's being retold here. As I mentioned, I really love the Skíðblaðnir. And you might have seen that I got really excited when Birgir started to utter those words before his last stand. So I want to talk about that. He is reciting a stanza from one of the poems from the Poetic Edda that is called Havamal, or Sayings of the High One, meaning Odin. And it's a poem that contains a whole bunch of kind of maxims, kind of words to live by, anything from the really mundane in terms of enjoy food and drink in moderation, how to be a good host, how to be a good guest, to kind of things that are more profound in terms of honor and what defines a person's legacy. And I know I've mentioned this before, but here he recites a stanza that's often pointed to as being something that really sort of encapsulates this idea of honor as being the thing that survives a person well after their death and that they are remembered by. And I know this one by heart because it is my favorite. Der fjö, der frændur, der sjálfur sama, ek vet ein sem aldri der dömer döden kvern, which is cattle die, kinsmen die, the self will also die. I know one thing that will never die, and that is the judgment of each dead person. So that is really thought to, like I said, sort of encapsulate the idea of honor as being the one thing that does always live on. And that's something that the sagas always affirm is the reputation of a person is what they're remembered by, whether it is a good, honorable reputation or a bad and dishonorable one. And another thing that I really liked about that scene is Birgir. He's giving a really great demonstration of that heroic final stand that you see very often in the sagas. So a way that a a character within the sagas can really demonstrate their honor is by meeting an inevitable death as bravely as possible. So they often do that by kind of laconic utterances, kind of dismissing the severity of a mortal wound. They have a mortal wound and they say something like struck there, or, their guts are falling out, and they are kind of just dismissing it as, just a flesh wound. So that's what's going on with Birgir here, is he is really showing that heroic last stand that is very typical within the sagas. And that is something that allows for an individual to be remembered in a really honorable way and for their reputation to live on. So he's quoting this poem about honor and how a reputation of a person is what outlives them. And then he's demonstrating kind of that idea of the most honorable possible death and meeting it head on and with bravery. So I love that scene, both for the stanza that it quotes, as well as for a demonstration of this heroic last stand that's really characteristic of saga literature. So a lot of amazing stuff in this episode, and I can't wait to keep going. I do have to grade some final exams, but once I am done with all of that, I will be returning because I have not a lot of videos remaining before I move on to Valhalla DLC and then Hellblade after that. I do have Assassin's Creed Valhalla on my list. I have a lot on my list. There's so much that is inspired by Norse mythology and the Viking Age, to the extent that I'm actually thinking about doing a class at my university on it, because it has become this amazing kind of medium for these stories to be adapted and retold in different ways. And this game is absolutely a demonstration of that, and is one that I am going to definitely be using if I am to offer that class in the future. So with that, I will say goodbye, and I will see you on the next one.